This is a response video to a post titled "Atheists Are Illogical," and you know, now we have physics using physics to physics and the laws of probability to defend contrived fairy tale-esque descriptions of creation. I mean, this is just so ludicrous. I mean, so your premise is that somehow nature can't account for eternity. No, we can't account for it. We can't. Okay, not nature. Nature doesn't have any problem with it. I'm sure. I'm sure. You say the universe what doesn't have any beginning or end. That nature can account for. Well, what if it doesn't begin or end? What about atheism demands a beginning to the universe? Or why is an atheist responsible for going a day before the Big Bang? I mean, I could speculate. Obviously, I can't go there scientifically. I can't take a spaceship, or I can't play a videotape and know what happened the day before the Big Bang. Obviously, because there's no physical forces existing at that moment. Well, none that we know of. But obviously, there could be forces. But I would speculate that before the Big Bang, when all matter is consolidated and frozen, essentially, as far as we understand it, then time is frozen also. And what causes it to thaw? Well, maybe it's a different kind of time. A different kind, measured in a different way based on physical aging or maturation of some atomic particle. I have no explanation for that. I have no way to explain that physics. But I'm not required to. I could speculate that it's an oscillating universe, an oscillating process, just like the 4 zillion other examples in nature of things oscillating. Why can't it oscillate? Why can't the universe itself oscillate? Yes, it contracts, it expands, it contracts, it expands, it contracts, it expands. It does this over and over and over and over and over forever, ever, and ever, and ever. But you say, because I can't give you this perfect description of the physics, that therefore the universe must have a spontaneous source. It must have a spontaneous instigator, and that infinite intelligence must have poofed out of nowhere, no creator, nothing. No, it just poofed. It just all of a sudden it sat around forever and ever, God, and then one day God said, "Oh yeah, I'll create a universe today, or I'll kick the ball, and create the Big Bang. I'll do the first little poke and initiate the energy that just causes the whole thing to spiral forever and ever and ever." It's just crazy. But we do live in a predictable, mechanical universe. I mean, it's like, best analogy. Okay, take a pool table and remove all the friction, and then you see what happens. You move one ball, and everything just goes forever and ever, bounces all over the place, no friction, blah, blah, blah. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. That physical law exists. That's a good one, okay? That seems pretty dang reliable. And so yeah, the universe always existed. We don't have to explain it to be an atheist. We can see evolution. It exists. I mean, to deny that its existence is just preposterous. And we can see we came from. All right, we are. What? It was God's plan that for 2 million years human beings would have an intellect, a mind that worked, and they wouldn't use it for 2 million years. They'd be just screwing around, acting retarded, even though they had the mental capacity to write Shakespeare if they just had a culture and some education. I mean, it's preposterous. What stupid ass God would do that? Oh yes, I'm going to create a human man and have him just sit there and eat bugs. I mean, it's just idiotic. The whole premise is just idiotic. It's you people just want a fairy tale. You want a happy ending. You want us to be able to say, and yes, and they lived happily ever after. All right, right? Because what story ever has goes from beginning to end? They all don't. Because they're all afraid of the end. They're all afraid of the conclusion. Yes, Snow White married the prince, died in childbirth, and Prince Charming got hit by a drunk driver driving their first child home from the hospital. Wait. That's the reality. The reality is real life fucks everybody. All right, and there is no fantasy God to come save us all and to where we live eternities and all this other bullshit. I mean, it's just amazing that you use these thin, weak, cruddy little gaps in our understanding of physical detail of the universe to excuse preposterous fantasy, preposterous storytelling. You're just crazy. It's just crazy. How can you have, how can you even have the intellect to use words like intellect and words like physics and understand any part of physics and leap to the conclusions you leap to? It's so insulting to your intelligence. You're insulting your own intelligence by resorting to such, weak arguments. I mean, so atheism is illogical because I can't define for you the spontaneous event that created the universe. And it's a self-fulfilling conclusion, right? I don't believe in spontaneous. Spontaneous is another word. We have this word in the vocabulary. People use it all the time. It's not a word. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as spontaneous. With the words coming out of my mouth right now, if we were smart enough a million years ago, we could have predicted them. Because it's electron, every neutron, every little atomic little particle, every electron, every little photon was in movement, in process. Okay, my creation was predictable. It's all predictable. Every single bit of it is predictable, if only if we have enough knowledge of the physical circumstance that existed before it took place. But of course we can't know those details. We can't trace all this stuff. But it's all, our destiny is, in a sense, already written. It's already, because we can't, there's no magic. There's no, oh yeah, that electron went in completely a different direction and caused the person to believe this. And this happened, this neuron just didn't work, and this one just, and broke the laws, broke the physical rules, to create this thing you want to have in the universe. This thing you want is this self-destiny and all this other crap. It just doesn't exist. I mean, as much as we feel like we're in control, we're already done. We're already doomed. Our fate's already written. But of course it feels like we're actively participating. It feels like this is all original, this stuff going on in my head. But it's not. Regardless, it just doesn't, I just don't understand using this such a fine tuning. I mean, you say fine tuning. There's evidence of fine tuning in the universe. Where is the evidence of fine tuning? It's just preposterous. It's just crude, awfully crude, ignorant, mindless forces. 4 billion years of animals eating each other. The carnage. Just imagine the carnage. 4 billion years of carnage, and then you talk about fine tuning. It's stupid. I mean, it is just by sheer chance that we even have the capacity of this extra intelligence, this intelligence that has a dual, an accidental extra purpose that allows us to build a culture and a language and a knowledge base to actually be something other than some sort of animal striving for one thing, survival by nature's rules. Because that's where we were stuck for 2 million years. And what got us out of that being stuck? What events? Well, okay, sure, they invented fire, they did this, to the events that took place, but it did, besides our physical evolution, there is such a thing as our cultural evolution, our intellectual evolution. That is taking place also. And the evidence of it is so obvious. And to sit there and deny all that and say, no, it was all inspired by some god who just one day decided, let's create chaos. Let's create this insane, soulless system where there isn't one piece of evidence in nature of anything that we could call humanity, anything we could call a sophisticated or educated or cultured appreciation or sensibility. Not one bit of evidence of that in nature. Nature has no compassion, no empathy, no concern for right, wrong, efficiency by any standard other than whatever wins, whatever makes you survive. I mean, nature doesn't care. It'll use plague, it'll use horrific pain, it'll use any mechanism available. Not deliberately, of course. I'm not trying to say nature has an intention. I'm just saying that's the end result is this system that has that it just has nothing. There's nothing but these crude forces. And so where's the evidence? Where's the evidence of any fine tuning in this? Because you find some stupid black space or white space or idiot space in some physical